What if SuperHot had multiplayer? Well, a brand new game called ChronoStrike brings that gameplay style, adds color, co-op with a friend, and a lot more in an intriguing story filled with adrenaline, conspiracies, and a deep narrative that continues to build throughout the game. I played both the single-player mode, as well as teamed up with the one, the only Mateo 3-on-1,
the slow-motion shooter of death,
to take on this challenging exercise of teamwork. Not gonna lie, it did take us a while to get into our groove, but damn, it was a lot of fun.
Look at me. Focus.
By the way, there's a 10% off link for it below. Now, let's keep going. For a bit more context, ChronoStrike is set in the year 2135 when, go figure, AI is trying to take over humanity. Which, weirdly enough, doesn't seem as sci-fi nowadays as it did back when The Matrix came out, but it's gonna be okay, right?
Chill out.
The game is built by the team that brought us the amazing Swarm and Swarm 2, and it's built on a foundation of deep appreciation and love for the cult classic SuperHot. They set out to make a bigger, better, and more expansive version of it, and boy does it deliver on that and then some. It has more levels, over 60 at launch to be specific, more enemy types, a ton more action, and of course the ability to play it co-op with a buddy. The premise is the same, time moves when you do, but the game just feels a lot more unpredictable than SuperHot ever did, and I mean that in the best way possible. The enemies have enough variety to keep things intriguing, and the way you approach levels is entirely up to you. The gameplay feels fluid, and even though time stands still as long as you do too, there were still plenty of moments that require split-second decisions. Making mistakes is also part of the process, as long as you learn from them, of course. Just as an example, on some levels you'll be surrounded by enemies with swords, all kinds of guns, shielded dudes, exploding ones, and even lasers and turrets that can take you out before you even realize where they're coming from. But that's what makes it fun, unpredictable, and so cool. Once you experience your inevitable demise, simply grabbing a weapon in front of you automatically and instantly restarts the level. But before you do that, try to take note of the things highlighted in red, because that's what took you out, so make sure you learn from it and adapt on your next try. They even took inspiration from epic movies like Inception and The Matrix for some of the more cinematic maps. And I can tell you that this has resulted in an overall experience that not only has a lot of replayability, but also keeps one of the big benefits of their previous development experience. It makes you feel really cool, which turns this into so much more than just a game you'll be playing for a few hours. It's the type of game that you'll keep coming back to constantly, and I hate to use cliches here, but easy to pick up, hard to master feels like the perfect tagline for ChronoStrike. Now let's talk about the mechanics and the co-op in a bit more detail. Depending on the level, you'll have a choice of handguns, shotguns, machine guns, and even knives, swords, or grenades you can throw back at your foes. To add even more depth and complexity, there will be levels where enemies are colored in blue or orange, and they can only be taken out with a gun of that color. And while this might be relatively straightforward while in single player, things get really heated up when you jump in with a friend. No.
Duck. Good.
I'm trying.
Watch.
I'm trying.
Think we did it? Oh,
I have a regular gun now, so... No?
He's going that way. You got him!
Oh! You'll not only need to have each other's backs, many times literally, but working together will sometimes even mean quick thinking, clear callouts to duck or shoot something, and maybe my favorite mechanic in multiplayer, swapping guns with your buddy. Remember when I mentioned that some levels have colored enemies that need to be taken out with a specific gun? Well, in multiplayer, a level might start with you having the blue guns and your friend the orange ones, but let's just say there will come a time where surviving means flicking your guns across a hallway while praying both of you are good at throwing and the clock is ticking.
Throw me an orange gun. I'll throw you a bullet one.
Oh, good.
And here it comes. I got him.
Now, as you progress in both the single player and multiplayer modes, you learn XP. This can be used to help you level up and get cosmetic rewards such as skins, banners, and badges. To earn more, you'll need to achieve sub-objectives, get headshots, use only certain types of weapons, etc. If all this wasn't already enough to make ChronoStrike an awesome game, then get this. The developers already have a DLC roadmap and extra features lined up for release after the game launches, which, if you're seeing this video, has already happened. This roadmap was currently presented to me as having 3 phases. In phase 1, they're planning to add multiplayer leaderboards, so now you and your buddies can go against your other friends or others to see who can get the best scores on each level. Also, in this first part of the roadmap, there will be daily, weekly, and monthly time challenges, as well as an achievement system for those of you who are trophy hunters. After that, Phase 2 will bring new levels to both the single player and multiplayer campaigns, plus a whole new story sequence with new weapons and enemies to tackle. And right now, single player levels and multiplayer ones are completely separate maps. But Phase 2 will also add fan-favorite single player levels to the multiplayer campaign. Finally, in Phase 3, we'll be getting an infinite mode, a hardcore mode, as well as a speedrun mode, all of which I'm really excited to get my hands on. ChronoStrike is already a ton of fun, but with all these upcoming updates, it's shaping up to become a worthy spiritual successor to SuperHot. And the multiplayer alone makes me feel like if you had a choice between the two, I'd just get ChronoStrike because it offers more bang for your buck, more adrenaline, and just basically achieves everything the developers set out to build 2 years ago when they started making this. Now, this is obviously not going to blow your mind in terms of graphics, but the art style is pleasant and the gameplay more than makes up for any shortcomings there. Check out the link in the description for 10% off ChronoStrike and let me know in the comments if you're excited to try it out. I'll catch you soon. Cheers, guys!